Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to teach measurement. Now, I thought measurement was easy, but actually when I first started teaching woodshop, I did not know how to measure. I thought I knew how, but in reality, I didn't. So I need to refresh the course myself. But through teaching it and teaching it many times, many different ways, I found the easiest way to teach it is the way professionals actually use it. They identify the line height. They don't actually add up sixteenths or add up eighths. They look at the line height and they know how tall it is and which one it is on the ruler. So that's how I show my kids how to do it. What helps is I do have a giant ruler here that we made, but to be honest with you, most years this sits on my wall and does absolutely nothing. I use this a lot. This is just a giant ruler painted on my wall that kids can refer to later on if they have a question about measurement, or if they're not quite sure, they can look up at that and kind of double check. And when I first teach them, I give them a blank ruler. We can start off with any fraction. In the wood shop, mostly we do sixteenths is the smallest one. Upper kids do 30 seconds, but most Woods 1 students just do sixteenths, and it works out well for them. So we start at the smallest line, and I tell the kids, what is that smallest line right there? And they all look up at the big ruler, and they say, oh, a 16th. Okay, so this is a 16th, and we write it down. Then the next line I tell them is also a 16th because it's the same height or higher. So this one's higher in this case. This would be 2 16ths. This one would be, I have my kids answer, they'll say 3 16ths. Some of them do at least. And then we go this one, which is 4 16ths. And we keep going all the way down the line until we get to the end, and this one is going to be 16 16ths. And then I say, well, go to 2 16ths. That line is the second tallest line. What measurement is that on the ruler? And they all look up here and they say, oh, it's 1/8. So you write, okay, 2 16ths is also 1/8. Now we're going to count the same height and taller. So take your pencil and drag it across your paper, and if it touches a line, you're going to count that line. So this one is 1/8. This one right here, which would touch, would be 2/8. This one here would be 3/8. This would be 4/8, and so on, all the way down to get sixteenths, or the whole inch, and that would be 8/8, right? And 8/8 is a whole. Let's go to our next tallest line. So I have them look over here, and they look up here on our ruler on the wall. This one is 1/4. And we go ahead, it would be touching this line, drag a pencil across. If it touches, it counts. This would count. This would be 2/4. And then this would be 3/4. And this would be 4/4. I'm running out of room there. And they go ahead and they measure each one of these all the way down. From halves would be the last one. And then after we're done, we circle our last numbers. So this one would be a 16th. This one would be an 1/8. This one would be a 1/4. This one would actually be a 1/2. And so on. And they can see that those ones they circled are actually the same ones up on the wall. And it helps them to kind of understand that there's 1/8 and a 1/2 inch, and there's 1/4 and a 1/2 inch, and how each of them adds up. So that's how we do it. We identify by line height. After they get this done, then we move on to an actual worksheet, and this is from mathaids.com. They're really easy to make. It does actually go by 30 seconds, which is kind of a rough thing for kids a little bit, but they go through and they say, okay, then they actually add in the whole number into it, right? The 6, and then this would be 6 and actually 1/8. I don't know if you can see that. But then they go on to actually reading a ruler after they learn how to identify line heights and they understand this. I have them keep this with them as they're doing the other sheets. That way it kind of helps them if they're lost or not quite sure, they can refer back to this one that they made first of all. So I hope that helps you teach measurement and have your kids measure better and make better projects. Thanks for watching.